Today we're here with Count Gore DeVol.
Greetings, it's so wonderful to be with you. Where are we? No.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us, man. I came to the hosts of horror panel my first day here. It was actually one of the first panels I attended at the con this year, and I had so much fun. You and Deadger Winners and the Dead Girls, you guys played off of each other so well. It was historical, informative. It was a great, great panel. So I wanted to thank you for that.
Well, you're very welcome. But that's really what we do. We play off of each other. We play off of the movie, good, bad, or indifferent. And usually it's bad or indifferent. But that's okay. No, I only say that. I don't put down movies. Well, mostly, because I appreciate filmmakers.
Yeah.
Usually.
Usually.
Well, there are some films that will go unnamed, like Beast of Yucca Flats.
Yeah.
Which has, but you know, a lot of films are made with blood, sweat, and tears, and very little money, and some of them actually have a lot of heart.
Yeah.
They're the classic ones that were big studio movies, and obviously you must pay homage to them.
Yeah.
But we play off of them. Actually, when I'm hosting movies, I'll look at the title. I'll say I can play off the title, and particularly if it's a good movie, I will play off the title and ignore the fact that it's a good movie. Sometimes, if it's a not so good movie where there's some few laughs that weren't intended, I will take off maybe on the content or the premise. For example, I'll give you an example. Okay, so we got a film coming up called The Screaming Skull.
Okay.
What can I do with The Screaming Skull? It's not a bad film. It's not that good, but it's, all right. But what's really bad about it is the fact that they have the screaming skull that kind of floats through. It's a horrible skull.
Yeah.
And the mouth, the jaw doesn't move, and the scream was horrible. So I said, well, maybe we ought to put in a new skull.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a bunch of people auditioning to do the skull. But I'm not going to pan the film. We'll just have a little fun with it. So, but that's what we do. We play off of each other, off the film, and have titles and have a good time.
Awesome. So what I wanted to ask you, sort of the premise of our show is, if there's anything from your childhood that may have surprised you with how good or bad it is as you've gotten older, not necessarily from your childhood, but from any point in your life, something that you were really sucked into and then forgot about for a long time and then came back and had a surprised reaction, one way or the other. Can you think of anything in specific that jumps out at you?
Actually, there was a whole thread of things that actually led to what I ended up doing in a career. I never thought about it at the time. When I was very young, like at 5 years old, my dad bought a reel-to-reel tape recorder, and I played with it incessantly.
Yeah.
And then my uncle Benny was a TV repairman. I used to love going to visit his place and watching how TVs are put together. And I was a big TV fan.
Yeah.
And when I was in high school, I was trying to put a radio station on the air in our school. And when I was watching when Shock Theater came on in Chicago with Marvin, I was a huge fan. I would creep down the stairs because my parents didn't want me to watch.
Of course not.
And of course, these are when the tuners went clank, 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 clank. So I'd get a pillow and I'd put the pillow on the turn it on, keep it real low. And I used to watch Shock Theater, and all of this kept going and going until finally it just dawned on me as an adult that maybe I should be in this business.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things. What took me so long? But I will say this: there was one thing. In high school, I once read a book. I said, and it was a little green book. I still have it. How to Get into Television.
Yeah.
Okay. This is cool. Okay.
That's cool. You still have it. That's neat.
There's a reason why.
Yeah.
So I read it, and it really was very interesting. Talked about all the positions and all that. And at the end, the last chapter was, oh, and by the way, unless you know somebody in the business, you can't get in. I was crestfallen. I gave up on any thought of getting into media.
Yeah.
I went into engineering and failed college because I'm not an engineer. I saved it because I wanted to always remember, never believe anything in books.
Yeah.
Or at least the tell-all books or the how-to-do-it books.
Yeah.
But it probably helped me because it set me back enough that I could after I realized I wasn't good at other things, that this is really what I had to do.
Yeah.
And I still didn't need to know anybody in the business.
So my next question would be, You're one of the very few, if not the only person who has been a guest at Pensacon for all 3 years that it's been running. Tell us a bit about your experience as this convention has grown.
Well, first of all, I wanted to help my friend and fellow co-host Mike Ensley.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I said, Mike, you want me down there to do this, and so I decided I wanted to support him. Mm-hmm. And the convention has turned out to be hugely successful. Yes. I mean, this is an awesome convention. It's outgrown the facilities. Mm-hmm. But it's people are having a great time. It's got a great reputation. So and the staff here, this convention has more staff, and support staff and differentiated, so that people have a good time. The guests have a good time. For example, they have these.
And that's what we've heard from everyone is that the guests just love this convention. They're treated very well.
You've got these beautiful young ladies in purple things that say escort.
Yeah.
How many other conventions provide their guests with an escort service? That's when I found out it was just to take us from here to there. Okay.
Oh, yeah, well.
But that's okay. It was, no, I'm serious.
And you were crestfallen again.
Absolutely.
Who wouldn't be?
But no, it's, and look, you get to go to Florida in wintertime.
Oh, yeah.
Come on. Yeah. Wouldn't you rather be up in Minnesota shoveling snow?
I know, right?
Here looking at the beach.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, thanks so much for sitting down with us, Count.
Well, thank you for doing this kind of thing, because it's a kind of nostalgic thing that people get into and remember, and don't forget me. No. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Count. I really appreciate you sitting down with us.
Don't forget to see me on the internet. www.countgore.com. Got to get the plug.
Yes.
CountGore.com. Every Saturday night, new show. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.